Okay, so you're getting ready for a job interview, right? And it's for a wholesale merchant position dealing with electrical household appliances.
You got it. We're talking about the folks who make sure all those fridges and toasters and everything, get from the people who make them to the stores where we buy them.
Yeah, like the unsung heroes of the appliance world. But seriously, it sounds like a pretty key role.
It definitely is, and it's a fast-paced industry, always changing, so it can be pretty demanding.
We've got a ton of resources from RoleCatcher to help us break this down. Career guides, interview guides, all sorts of stuff.
And even details about their AI platform, which is pretty cool.
Right, so let's use all of that and do a deep dive into what it takes to land one of these jobs, become a wholesale merchant, all that good stuff.
Hmm.
Sort of like giving our listeners a little insider's guide.
Sounds good. Maybe we can even bust a few myths along the way.
Definitely. So first, let's just lay it all out. What does a wholesale merchant actually do on a day-to-day basis?
Well, it's a lot more than just buying and selling. I mean, yeah, that's part of it, but they're also researching potential buyers, finding new suppliers, that kind of
Oh,
thing.
so they're doing market research too.
Big time. They got to know what's hot, what's not, what people are willing to pay for, all that.
And that means they're negotiating deals too, right? I bet that can get intense.
You bet. Huge orders, tight margins, sometimes international deals, the whole 9 yards.
Sounds like you got to be quick on your feet in this job.
Definitely. And always learning about new products and technologies. You snooze, you lose in this business.
So how about the career outlook? Is this a good field to get into?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. The field's projected to grow something like 5% over the next decade.
Seriously.
Yep. And the salary's not bad either. On average, you're looking at like 45,000 to 80,000 a year. And of course, that can go up even higher as you get more experience.
That's not too shabby at all. Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks. You walk into the interview, you're all dressed up, resume in hand. What are they going to ask you? What should you be ready for?
Well, there are a few classic questions they almost always throw out. One of the first ones is likely going to be, describe your experience in wholesale merchandising in the electrical household appliances industry. Something like that.
Okay, so pretty straightforward. Just tell them about your past jobs, right?
Well, yeah, but you got to be specific. Don't just list off job titles. They want to hear about the actual products you've worked with, the challenges you've faced, the wins you've had, the nitty-gritty.
So instead of just saying, I was a sales associate at so-and-so, I should say, I managed the refrigerator section and increased sales by 15%, something like that.
Bingo. Quantifiable achievements, that's what they want to hear. Show them you can move the needle, make things happen.
Got it. So numbers, specifics, concrete examples, that kind of thing. What else?
Another one they might ask is, what was your biggest win in a previous role? Kind of a follow-up to that first question, really.
Okay, so this is my chance to really brag a little, right? Talk about that time I closed that huge deal or saved the company a ton of money.
Absolutely. But make sure it's a story that highlights skills that are relevant to this job. Show them you can problem solve, think strategically, and of course, get results.
Got it. So what about those times when things didn't go so smoothly? Are they going to ask about failures or challenges? Like, tell me about a time you screwed up royally.
Uh-huh. Maybe not that directly, but yeah, they definitely want to know how you handled tough situations. They might say something like, describe a time when you had to negotiate with a supplier or vendor, or something along those lines.
So think of a time when things got a little heated, maybe a disagreement over prices or delivery dates, something like that.
Exactly. And the key here is to show how you handled it. Did you lose your cool? Or did you stay calm, professional, and find a solution that worked for everyone?
Because let's face it, not every negotiation is going to be a walk in the park.
Nope. Sometimes you got to get creative, find that middle ground, build a relationship with the other party, it's all part of the game.
And I bet this is where having strong communication skills comes in handy, right? Being able to articulate your point of view clearly and persuasively.
Absolutely. In fact, that might even be another question they ask, something like, how do you stay up to date with industry trends and changes?
So they want to know if I'm just coasting or if I'm actively trying to stay ahead of the curve.
Exactly. And it's not just about reading the occasional article. They want to see that you're engaged, you're attending conferences, maybe you're even taking online courses or something.
Showing them you're a lifelong learner, basically. Always looking for ways to improve your skills and knowledge.
That's the ticket. Now, this is where RoleCatcher's AI can really come in handy.
Oh yeah, how so?
Well, their platform can analyze industry trends and tell you exactly which skills are in high demand right now, so you can tailor your answers to highlight those specific areas,
That's pretty slick. It's like having a cheat sheet for the interview.
Kinda, yeah. It takes some of the guesswork out of it. Okay, so we've talked about experience, wins, challenges, staying up to date. What else?
Well, I'm sure they're going to want to know how I manage my time,
Right,
right?
yeah.
Juggling all those orders, deadlines, and negotiations, it's got to be a lot to keep track of.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They might ask something like, how do you manage your time and prioritize tasks? Or give me an example of a time you juggled multiple deadlines. How did you approach it?
So, do they want to hear that I'm a master of to-do lists or that I live and die by my calendar?
Well, it's not about specific tools necessarily, but more about your overall approach. Do you have a system? Are you organized? Can you meet deadlines consistently? That's what they really want to know.
And again, I bet RoleCatcher could give me some insights into what they're looking for here.
Right. You bet. Their AI can analyze job descriptions to pinpoint which time management skills are most valued in this industry. Super helpful.
Awesome. Okay, so we've covered time management. What about client relationships? I mean, these wholesale merchants are basically the middlemen, right? Connecting manufacturers with retailers.
Exactly. And building strong relationships is crucial. They might ask something like, how do you build and maintain relationships with clients? Or what's your secret sauce for turning a one-time client into a long-term partner?
So they're not just looking for a transactional salesperson. They want someone who can build trust, understand their clients' needs, and foster those long-term partnerships.
Right on. It's about going the extra mile, being responsive, communicating clearly, all that good stuff.
And I'm guessing they'll want some concrete examples of how I've done that in the past.
For sure. Be ready to share a story about a client relationship that you're particularly proud of, one where you really went above and beyond.
Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. Not every client interaction is going to be smooth sailing, right?
You said it. There will be tough clients, demanding clients, maybe even some downright rude clients.
So how do I prepare for that? What should I say if they ask me, how do you handle difficult or challenging clients or situations?
This is where you want to show that you can stay calm under pressure, that you can de-escalate tense situations, and that you can find solutions that work for everyone involved.
And I'm assuming personal anecdotes are helpful here.
Definitely. Share a brief story about a time when you successfully navigated a challenging client interaction. What did you learn from that experience? How did it make you a better professional? That's what they want to hear.
And again, RoleCatcher's AI can help me practice my answers to these types of behavioral questions, right? Give me some feedback on how I'm coming across.
Exactly. It's like having a virtual mock interview, which can be super valuable in boosting your confidence.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground already. Experience, challenges, time management, client relationships, handling those tough situations. What else should we be thinking about?
Well, inventory management is a big one. This is the heart of the wholesale merchant role, making sure the right products are available at the right time. They might ask you something like, how do you manage inventory and ensure adequate stock levels?
So, are they expecting me to be a spreadsheet wizard? Or is it more about understanding the overall process?
It's both. You need to demonstrate that you understand the ins and outs of tracking inventory, forecasting demand, and working with suppliers to maintain a smooth flow of goods.
And this is probably where experience with inventory management software would be a big plus, right?
Definitely. Any specific systems you've used, mention those. And be prepared to discuss how you would handle real-world scenarios like, imagine a sudden surge in demand for a popular appliance. How would you handle it?
Okay, so think on my feet, make quick decisions, and find solutions to prevent stock shortages.
Got it. What about pricing? I'm guessing that's a pretty important part of the job, too. Absolutely. They might ask, how do you approach pricing strategies for products? This is where you show them you understand market dynamics, competitor pricing, profit margins, all that good stuff.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where you're maximizing profit without pricing yourself out of the market.
Right. And they might even ask you to break down your thought process. Like, what factors do you consider when deciding on the right price point for a new product?
And this is where my market research skills come in handy, right? Being able to analyze trends, understand consumer behavior, and all that.
Exactly. And don't forget, RoleCatcher can provide insights into pricing trends for specific appliances. Their AI can analyze market data and give you a competitive edge.
That's a great resource. Okay, so we've talked about pricing. What about marketing? Do wholesale merchants need to be marketing gurus too?
Well, it depends on the specific role, but having a basic understanding of marketing principles is definitely helpful. They might ask, how do you approach developing and implementing marketing strategies for products?
So they're not expecting me to create a full-blown ad campaign, but they do want to see that I understand how to reach target markets and promote products effectively.
Exactly. Think about different marketing channels like social media, email marketing, maybe even influencer marketing, and be ready to share an example of a successful marketing campaign you were involved in.
Like that time, I single-handedly boosted sales of blenders by 200% with my viral TikTok dance.
Haha, sure, if that's relevant. But seriously, choose a campaign that showcases your understanding of the target market and your ability to measure results.
Got it. And if I'm drawing a blank on specific examples, RoleCatcher's AI can help me out there too, right?
Absolutely. Their platform can analyze successful marketing campaigns in the appliance industry, giving you ideas and inspiration.
That's super helpful. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about compliance. I'm guessing there are a lot of rules and regulations in the appliance industry.
Oh, yeah, tons. Safety standards, energy efficiency requirements, labeling guidelines, you name it.
So they're definitely going to ask about that, right?
Yeah, most likely. They might say something like, how do you ensure compliance with industry regulations and standards? They want to see that you take this seriously and that you're proactive about staying informed.
So I should be ready to talk about how I stay up to date on the latest regulations? Maybe mention any specific certifications I have?
Exactly. And they might also ask about internal processes, like what steps do you take to ensure your team is always up to date on the latest compliance requirements? This is where you can highlight your leadership skills and your commitment to ethical practices.
Got it. So compliance is about more than just checking boxes. It's about doing business the right way.
Exactly. It's about building trust with your customers, your suppliers, and the industry as a whole. And honestly, it's just good business practice.
That makes sense. Wow, we've covered a lot of ground. It sounds like being a wholesale merchant is a pretty demanding, but also potentially very rewarding career.
No doubt. And it's a field with a lot of opportunity for growth and advancement.
So anyone out there who's thinking about pursuing this career path, take note.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher is your secret weapon in this journey. Use their AI-powered tools to gain that competitive edge and land that dream job.
Sounds like a plan.
Whew. I think we covered just about every interview question they could throw at you.
Yeah, I feel like I need a nap after all
Yeah.
that. But seriously, it's super helpful to know what to expect.
Definitely. Being prepared is half the battle. But let's say you nail the interview, you get the job offer, you're officially a wholesale merchant. What happens next? Where does this career path lead?
Yeah, that's a good question. Is it just more of the same, just bigger deals and maybe a fancier title?
It can be, but it doesn't have to be. There are actually a lot of different directions you can go. One path is to climb the corporate ladder within your company.
So like move up to a senior merchant position, maybe even become a director or something.
Exactly. You could be managing teams, developing strategies, making those big picture decisions.
So instead of just negotiating prices for toasters, I could be deciding which cutting-edge appliances we bring to market. That sounds pretty cool.
It definitely can be. And as you gain experience, you'll develop a deep understanding of the market, build strong relationships with suppliers and clients, and, really hone those leadership skills.
But what if I'm not the corporate ladder climbing type? Are there other options?
Absolutely. You could branch out into business development.
Business development. What does that look like in the appliance world?
Well, it could involve forging new partnerships,
Mhm.
maybe expanding into international markets. You could be scouting out the next big thing in appliances from overseas, bringing innovative products to a whole new customer base.
That sounds pretty exciting.
Right.
I'm also kind of curious about the entrepreneurial side of things. Could this role be a stepping stone to starting my own wholesale business?
Definitely. A lot of the skills you gain as a wholesale merchant are transferable to running your own business.
Yeah.
You'd already have experience with sourcing products, negotiating deals, managing inventory, all that.
So I could like create my own niche, specialize in a certain type of appliance, maybe energy efficient models or something.
Exactly. Or maybe focus on a particular lifestyle, like catering to outdoor enthusiasts or tech-savvy millennials, whatever you're passionate about.
I love that. So many possibilities.
Yeah.
But let's be real, this industry changes so fast. How do I make sure my skills stay relevant? What if 5 years from now, no one even uses toasters anymore?
Ah, good point. That's why continuous learning is so important. You got to stay ahead of the curve.
So reading industry magazines isn't going to cut it.
It's a start, but you got to go deeper. Attend industry conferences, take online courses, maybe even pursue certifications in things like supply chain management or data analytics.
And I bet RoleCatcher can help me figure out which skills to focus on, right?
Absolutely. Their AI platform is amazing for that. It
I,
analyzes job trends and identifies the skills that are in high demand. So you can basically tailor your professional development to what employers are actually looking for.
that's so smart. Okay, so I'm building my skills, climbing the ladder, maybe even dreaming of launching my own blender empire. But beyond all the practical stuff, what kind of person do I need to be to really thrive in this role? Is that all about being a smooth talker, a master negotiator?
Those things are definitely important, especially in the beginning. You're going to be dealing with all sorts of people, manufacturers, retailers, clients from all over. But it goes deeper than that.
What else is important?
Resilience is huge. You're going to face rejection, tough negotiations, unexpected challenges. You got to be able to bounce back from setbacks, learn from your mistakes, and just keep pushing forward.
So thick skin and a can-do attitude are a must.
You got it. But don't forget about empathy. This role is all about building relationships, not just closing deals. You need to understand your clients' needs, anticipate their challenges, and genuinely want to see them succeed. It's about creating win-win situations.
So it's like a balance of business savvy, resilience, and a genuine desire to help people.
Exactly. When you combine those qualities with a passion for the industry and a commitment to continuous learning, you've got a recipe for a truly rewarding career.
I love that. It's not just about selling stuff, it's about making a difference. Speaking of making a difference, RoleCatcher talks a lot about using your skills to make a positive impact. How does that translate to the world of wholesale appliances? It's not exactly saving the rainforest, right?
Right, but it's still important. Think about sustainability. As a wholesale merchant, you're in a position to champion eco-friendly appliances. You could prioritize energy-efficient refrigerators or washing machines that conserve water.
So I could actually be selling products that are good for the planet and people's wallets. I like that.
Exactly. You're not just driving sales, you're contributing to a more sustainable future. And it doesn't stop there. Think about accessibility.
Accessibility, how does that tie into appliances?
Well, you could partner with organizations that provide affordable appliances to low-income families, making sure everyone has access to essential items, regardless of their financial situation.
Wow, that's really powerful. It's like using your business skills to actually make a tangible difference in people's lives.
And don't forget about ethical sourcing. You have a responsibility to ensure that the products you're selling are produced ethically, with fair labor practices and minimal environmental impact.
So it's about making sure my success doesn't come at the expense of others or the planet, right?
Exactly. You can advocate for transparency in the supply chain, work with manufacturers who prioritize ethical practices, and even educate your clients about the importance of responsible sourcing.
This is really making me rethink what it means to be a wholesale merchant. It's not just about moving boxes, it's about using your influence to make a positive impact.
And that brings us to a crucial point. Your work is not just about individual success. It's about our collective impact and our responsibility to leave the world a better place than we found it.
Wow, that's deep. We've gone from nailing interview questions to exploring career paths to discussing the ethics of appliance sales.
It's all connected, and RoleCatcher can help you navigate all of it. Their AI-powered platform can help you identify your strengths, refine your skills, and connect with opportunities that align with your values.
I love that. So to sum it all up, becoming a wholesale merchant is about more than just landing a job. It's about embarking on a journey of growth, impact, and purpose.
Exactly. And we're here to support you every step of the way.
Awesome. So I think it's time to wrap things up and distill all these amazing insights into some key takeaways for our listeners. Ready for part 3?
Let's do it.
Okay, so we spent the last 2 parts of this deep dive really getting into the nuts and bolts of what it takes to be a wholesale merchant in the appliance world.
From those tricky interview questions to thinking about long-term career paths, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's time to, kind of bring it all together for our listeners. Like, what are the big takeaways here? What should they really remember as they, start down this career path? Or maybe even just consider it?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is preparation, especially when it comes to that interview process.
Oh, for sure. Like we talked about, they're going to throw some curveballs at you. You got to be ready.
Yeah, research the company, the industry, the specific role, really do your homework.
And don't forget about RoleCatcher.
Right. That AI platform is a total game changer when it comes to interview prep.
I mean, being able to analyze those job descriptions, figure out what skills they're really looking for, and then tailor your answers. That's huge.
And then get personalized feedback on your resume, your cover letter, even practice your answers and get AI feedback on that.
It's like having a a personal coach in your pocket.
Exactly. So yeah, preparation is key.
Okay, so what else? What other nuggets of wisdom can we leave our listeners with?
I think another big one is to never stop learning.
Oh, yeah. This industry is constantly changing. New products, new technologies, new trends all the time.
Exactly. So, make it a habit to attend industry events, conferences, webinars, whatever. Read trade publications, take some online courses, maybe even look into certifications and things like supply chain management or data analytics. There are a lot of options out there.
And honestly, I think that applies to just about any career these days.
It really does. The world moves fast. You got to keep up.
So we've got preparation and continuous learning. What else?
Well, we talked a lot about the kind of like the inner game, the mindset you need to succeed in this role.
Like being resilient, having that thick skin, being able to bounce back from setbacks.
Right. But also having empathy, being able to build those strong relationships, not just with clients, but with suppliers, with your team,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, it's not just about being a tough negotiator. It's about being a good person, too.
Exactly.
And, we talked a bit about finding purpose in this work, right? Like, how can you make a positive impact, even if you're just selling appliances?
Right. Maybe you champion sustainable products or, you advocate for ethical sourcing. There are ways to align your work with your values, even in a quote unquote traditional industry like this.
Yeah, I think that's so important, especially for younger folks who are just starting out.
It really is.
Well, I think we've covered just about everything. Any final words of wisdom before we wrap things up?
I would just say, to anyone out there who's thinking about this career path, go for it. It's a challenging field for sure, but it's also incredibly rewarding. You get to be part of a fast-paced industry, work with cool products, and, if you play your cards right, you can really make a difference.
I love that. So listeners, take note. And don't forget about RoleCatcher. That AI platform is seriously a game changer when it comes to navigating this whole job search process.
Totally agree. All right, well, that about wraps it up for this deep dive into the world of wholesale merchandising and electrical household appliances.
It's been a blast. Thanks for joining us, everyone. And until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep those appliances sparkling.